legislature swept all of the Hurf funds, and that is totally false. Facing the budget deficit that we did, we saw a huge decline in Hurf revenue because fewer people were buying gas. The vehicle license tax dropped dramatically because fewer people were buying cars. What the cities and counties don't tell you is they get every single penny of the VLT. The state gets none of that money. It goes to the zip code that the vehicle is registered with. So there was a decline in that revenue. Then the second thing was the state assumed the total cost of managing and operating the program. And that was borne solely by the states. The cities didn't pay anything towards the overhead of management, the Department of Motor Vehicles, and collecting those revenues, dispersing those revenues, and accounting for those revenues. The state did all that. So what we did with last year's budget is we, instead of dispersing the dividends to our shareholders before we deducted the overhead, we deducted the overhead before we dispersed the revenue to our shareholders. And the state split the cost with the cities and the counties 50-50 for running those programs. The impact of Pima County was instead of $60 million, they got $53 million. So Pima County got $53 million in Hurf revenue. Okay, so $7 million short than what they got in the past. Now, on a $1.4 billion budget is what the county's budget was. It's double than what it was 10 years ago, where it was $700 million. I have to ask why the County Board of Supervisors, when the state had to find a way to reduce spending 22%, could not find 0.5% out of $1.4 billion to come up with $7 million to offset that revenue to fix the roads. The other counties did that, and that's why you don't see the impact in those counties, because instead of doing little handouts to their buddies in City of South Tucson and a few other things, the other county said, we need to fund our infrastructure and our public safety, and that's where they put their money. The question I would ask is, how does a county with a $1.4 billion budget spend it? And that's why we're going to do an audit to find out where that $1.4 billion is going.
Great stuff.